time as Smith will battle Robbie Lawler. That's coming up next, right here on Saturday Night Fights. The Stockton Arena, where coming up next, the fight we've been waiting for. Lawler-Smith 2, unfinished business.
You're only as good as your last fight, and your next fight's always your biggest fight.
I like fighting. Championship doesn't complete me. Belts or no belts, this is who I am.
My kids are my biggest fans, but they're my biggest critics, too. My youngest one, the 5-year-old, he doesn't understand why I would lose. You know, he thinks I'm invincible, so I got to go out there and prove it to him.
I don't owe anything to anyone. I'm out here to fight. It's for me and my family and everyone who cares about me.
He beat me down pretty good that first round, but I didn't go down. I didn't give up. That's got to be in your head when you give somebody everything you got and they don't go down.
I threw a punch, he got close, and I went to push off and poked him in the eyes.
He didn't mean to, but it just totally threw my vision off. Yeah, I was real upset the fight ended. I would have definitely continued.
It's just going to be me, him, and the ref.
Nothing more satisfying than putting a guy to sleep. It's for a world title. That makes it even that much better.
Punches, kicks, elbows.
He may have to go 5 rounds with me.
He knows what I'm bringing. I know what he's bringing.
I want that belt. I think I deserve it.
I love laying it all out there on the line. Whatever it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the rematch championship you've all been waiting for. Please welcome to the cage the challenger, the heavy-headed knockout artist from Elk Grove, California, Scott Hands of Steel Smith.
Scott Hands of Steel Smith from nearby Elk Grove. He's fighting in front of a lot of friends and family, and this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
You said it, Gus. 4 busloads of fans are in attendance tonight for this, the biggest fight of Scott Smith's career. He is best known for his dramatic knockout of Pete Sell in the UFC, but tonight he plans on becoming a household name as Elite XC middleweight champion.
He has the opportunity to do so. And he's got power in both hands, which I really, really like. Loads of power. He's just a little stiff on the stand-up sometimes. He needs to loosen up and relax. Hopefully the nerves are gone from him on this match. I know it's a big match. He's also been knocked as a slow starter. I think Robbie's going to start really, really fast. I think Scott Hands of Steel Smith is going to have to fight fast as well, just to protect himself.
MMA royalty in the house. That is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, the UFC light heavyweight champion Anderson Silva, who just recently, Morrow, moved up to 205, and last week he was dynamic.
Oh yes, he was. He is the middleweight champion, like you said, pound for pound the best on the planet.
Excuse me, the middleweight champion, pardon me.
And now his opponent, the dangerous and defending Elite XC World Middleweight Champion from Granite City, Illinois, introducing Ruthless Robbie Lawler.
So Robbie Lawler, 12 of his 15 wins have been via TKO. He's lost just 1 in his last 9 fights, and he is also considered one of the top middleweight fighters at 185 pounds in the world.
And in a perfect world, the winner of this fight would love to get a chance at Anderson Silva, I'm sure, but we don't live in a perfect world. But Lawler has always had a love affair with martial arts thanks to his dad. It's no surprise he is a fan of the knockout, having grown up idolizing Mike Tyson and Frank tonight. He will try to be like Mike and finish Smith once and for all.
Well, like I said, he believes the bangs and he tries to knock you out. He's got a great 4-inch reach advantage. He's big for a 185 guy. His jab has sometimes been called lazy. It's swinging, it's wide, but he loads up on massive power, and if he connects with any of those, he's going to Tyson everybody he fights, except for me, of course, but everybody else, and hopefully Scott Hands of Steel Smith can stand up to it.
Yeah, I'm sure Frank Shamrock's going to be watching this with vested interest.
The tail of the tape, sponsored by Burger King. Robbie Lawler, Scott Smith 2. Scott Smith, the older, taller fighter, the heavier fighter, but Lawler does have a 4-inch reach advantage. Robbie Lawler. Born and raised in San Diego, now training out of Granite City, Illinois, enters the cage. He is the Elite XC middleweight champion.
You know, their first fight was as good as my new favorite show on CBS, Flashpoint, which just so happens to be made in Canada. Catch it Thursday nights at 10. You know, gotta get that in there.
All right, let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, CBS and Elite XC present the Saturday Night Fights main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds in a rematch for the Elite XC Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and MMA fans joining us around the world, the time has come. Live from Stockton, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 feet even. He weighed in at 185 pounds. A well-versed mixed martial artist specializing in Muay Thai. His record includes 15 wins, 4 losses, and 1 no contest. Here is the hard-hitting UFC veteran and the former WEC and Gladiator Challenge champion. Please welcome the challenger, known as Scott Hands of Steel Smith. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, the defending champion, standing at 5 feet 11 inches. He weighed in at 184 1/2 pounds. Known as a fearsome boxer brawler and raised in the disciplines of boxing and wrestling, his MMA record stands at 15 wins, 4 losses, and 1 no contest. Tonight, he is making the second defense of his title. Please welcome the hammer-fisted, explosive, Elite XC middleweight champion of the world, introducing Ruthless Robbie Lawler. And now introducing our referee in charge of this bout, Herb Dean.
All right, gentlemen, we've gone over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We will have a clean fight. Touch gloves, let's make it official.
Frank, in my opinion, Scott Smith does not look as lean as we saw him the first time. Is that intentional?
I don't know. He's not as ripped as he was last time. Maybe he wants a little more power in those punches. I don't know, but you're right. He was much leaner last time.
I spoke to Robbie Lawler yesterday. I asked him what his strategy was. He said it was simple. I'm bringing it early and often. I'm going to test Scott Smith from the opening bell.
Let's do it.
And here we go.
Next to Batman versus the Joker, this is the biggest showdown of the summer, guys. I am looking forward to an electrifying encore.
Lawler doing a lot of backpedaling to start.
He does this to find his range. He kind of, slides around, gets that good range, and you'll see him step in with some counter punches. He faked one right there with a straight left. So he's a feeler. That's how the eye poke came. He's a feeler. He feels where the range is, and then he fires as soon as he feels it.
Lawler going to the head kick.
Yeah, an interesting jumping head kick. You don't see too many of those in Lawler's playbook.
Oh, that was a massive kick that was blocked by the shin of Lawler. That's going to hurt. There it is, punch, kick combo. That's what I wanted to see.
5-minute rounds for the Elite XC middleweight title. Lawler Smith 2. First one ending in a no contest when Lawler poked Smith in the eye in the 3rd round.
And Gus Lawler became Elite XC's second ever middleweight champion when he defeated Murillo Ninja Hua via TKO in round 3 at Elite XC Uprising, September 15th in Honolulu.
Roundhouse to the body for Lawler. Both fighters taking their time to find the range. There's a roundhouse to the head.
Lawler clowned him.
We saw a little bit of this in the first fight as well, the feeling out process. A lot of mutual respect for each other's power here.
Front kick missing by Scott Smith. Lawler closing the distance. Lawler trying to get in, and he does. Right hook landing on the jaw of Scott Smith.
He's getting in with that jabbing kind of hook. Lawler's landing it. It's still grazing, but that thing has power in it.
It will be interesting to see that, unlike the first fight, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them may try to surprise the other by taking it to the ground. I know they want to throw down, but the Elite XC middleweight championship is at stake. You have to do whatever it takes.
Healthy respect for each other right now. They wind up in the clinch. Scott Smith, very successful on May 31st in the clinch with knees.
And remember when Robbie Lawler got cut, that's when he went the elbow route. It'll be interesting to see if he might pull out a few level trajectory elbows from the clinch.
This is Smith's game right here, the inside clinch fighting game. Robbie looks like he's boned up on it. He has that forearm out. He's holding the distance a lot better than last time. Lawler pinning him in the cage, using his body weight right now to stuff him and smother him up there where he can't have mobility and bring those knees up.
2:10 to go in the first round, scheduled for 5. Lawler trying to free the elbows, and they break. There's a roundhouse to the body. Oh, a roundhouse block to the head, though, by Smith. And Lawler got his hands up.
Smith enjoyed some success in the first fight with that right roundhouse kick to the head. The southpaw Lawler trying to establish the jab.
Now Lawler steps back. Smith delivering that front kick. Sometimes, Frank, as you told me, it serves as a jab, that front kick.
Jab for the feet. Good distance maker when some guy's running at you to punch.
Yeah, Muay Thai, the team is the leg jab.
Nice straight left hand by Lawler, and he finishes it up with a body kick.
That hurt Smith. That hurt him. That made him
it up. Yes, he is in trouble.
That made him think, reevaluate his game plan.
Lawler so strong. Those body and head kicks will take a toll on you as the fight progresses. 104 to go.
Frank, what about timing and establishing that rhythm? Here we are in the last minute of the first round. Talk a little bit about that, the rhythm and timing in the stand-up position.
Well, timing is key to everything, and Robbie has good timing and understanding of it. That's why you saw him backpedaling and trying to stretch him out. Now that he feels where his range is, you see he's only moving forward. This is where Scott needs to start moving laterally. But I believe that Robbie has the confidence now that he knows the distance, he knows the time, and he's just trying to counterpunch with some power.
That roundhouse to the head blocked by Scott Smith. Great right hand by Smith, followed by a roundhouse to the head. And that backs up Lawler. Now Smith chopping down with elbows. Straight right hand getting in. Lawler may be in a little trouble.
Lawler got hurt with the right hand of steel, straight down the pipe. Ooh. Now he throws it to the body.
I think these two warriors are incapable of having a bad fight. We're seeing the ebb and flow here in round one. Again, Lawler going back to the jab.
There's that push forward. Left hand missing, right hand grazing for Scott Smith. End of the first round, scheduled for 5. So Frank, what do you think? Good round for Smith?
Yeah, I thought it was a great round for Smith. Last time they fought, he went falling, stumbling to his corner. This time he was smiling and confident on the way to his corner. And there's that setting up those leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks, using punch, kick to move forward, make an angle and kick.
But Frank, why doesn't he follow up after delivering that high roundhouse kick? Isn't that the point, is to establish, to try to either serve up some punches or take him down? And
yeah, he's reaching kind of far for it, and that's why. He's punching long and he's reaching, but he's getting in there. He just needs to get that punch and kick timed a little bit better. Then when he comes with these punches and gets inside in the clinch, he's going to do that real damage, like right there with the forearm attempt and right there with the elbow. Robbie was lucky to duck those two because those are what cut him last time.
And a CompuStrike totals leg strikes in round one. Lawler landing 7 of 14, Smith 11 of 17.
Round 2. The Elite XC middleweight title in mixed martial arts. Middleweights are 185 pounds.
I don't know if they're saying Scotty or Robbie. It may be a mix of both. Although we are in the backyard of Scott Smith.
Sounds like, Morrow, they're saying Scotty.
I try to give some love to Lawler.
Yeah, he's certainly not loved in this town here. This is where I thought Lawler should start peppering that jab. He's kind of pawing and touching, but he needs to crisp that up. You need to pop it in there, double, triple, go to the body.
Smith told us in the fighter meetings that he wanted to improve his movement, the lateral movement, not so much back and forth, but Lawler against is lulling him into the same mode of attack.
Nice elbow by Scott Smith.
Although this is where Smith wants to be, and he's damaging him with those elbows.
Chopping those elbows down. Now, Robbie Lawler with the straight man.
Bleeding again from the head.
Almost in the same spot.
Ooh, he's got to push through that.
He triples it up.
He's got to push through that. Smith can't stay at that range. It's where Lawler's most powerful.
And blood just pouring out of the top of the head.
And it was
Robbie Lawler.
It was the Yankee quipper. Yogi Berra said it best, guys. It's deja vu all over again.
I like what Smith did before when he wrestled inside, got head control, and then spun Robbie around into the cage. That's where Smith needs to be if he's going to work this clinch game and do more damage with those elbows.
So Lawler peppers the body, stays close.
It's a nasty cut.
It's a bad one. And Smith's kind of resting here. I don't think this is the spot to rest. This is not the time to rest in a fight like this.
Now dirty boxing, looping, hooks. For Robbie Lawler, trying to go to the uppercut.
Oh, wow, we just had some plasma fall into our lap right here.
Right,
nice.
Sample.
Nice knee by Robbie Lawler.
That's what there needs to be in this clinch game. Is we're missing knees from here. We're missing knees to the thigh, knee to the hip, and knee to the body.
You know, if that cut gets any worse, you might just be able to see Lawler's thoughts there, Mr. Shamrock.
It's close.
Now another elbow by Lawler. Smith taking some time to try to gather himself on the cage.
I think this is the wrong position to take.
Oh, those knees
hurt him.
Smith in trouble. Grounding pound. Lawler. Can he finish him this time? There's another knee. Drops him. Herb Dean stepping in. It's over. Scott Smith unable to stand. Ruthless Robbie Lawler. Bloody, bruised, popping his collar in the middle of the cage. He retains his Elite XC middleweight title.
I think he's taking a shot to the body.
And it was the knee game. Great Shamrock. And he
Ruthless Robbie Lawler remains the law in the Elite XC middleweight division.
He's ruthless.
It was the knee game.
It was the knee game.
And we talked about how Scott Smith didn't look as fit coming into this fight, especially in the midsection.
Yep, and he took a hard one there when he was resting. That's not the time to rest. When you're tired, you got to go with it, man.
Let's remember, guys, he did suffer a foot injury as well, so that may have been one of the reasons.
Robbie Lawler, this is mixed martial arts, folks. It can get a little bloody. But a great night for Robbie Lawler. Scott Smith, second go-around, unsuccessful as this one is stopped. Robbie Lawler TKing Scott Smith, TKOing Scott Smith rather, with knees.
What's up, baby? What's up? Here's where it looked like the cut came. They got inside. There's a nice forearm right there, followed up by another one. He was really doing damage here, measuring and timing. I think that was the point that did it right there. That elbow point, you can't hit bone on bone because the skin just pops right open. It wasn't a dangerous cut, but it sure looked bad, and it could have been much lower on Robbie's face. It could have been to this fight.
CompuStrike totals, arm strikes, Lawler 36 of 64, Smith 16 of 46.
Here's our end, monster knees. Monster knees from the clinch right here from Lawler. He knew that there was tiredness in Smith. He knew he was getting fatigued. He could feel it, and he came for the blood right here. The knees on the inside folded him over, took his win. He just took his time to finish him off. There's another one. He came with a beautiful left knee. Just endless punches right here. You could tell Smith is done. Robbie is just trying to put the final nail in the coffin. We got to see it again because this is extraordinary. They were talking about knees. They're damaging right in his solar plex. They're taking the life and the wind out of him. Was he out of shape? We don't know, but he sure reacted to those knees. They folded him over. Robbie taking a dominant and dangerous position. And boy, when he smells blood, he goes for it. He finishes hard. He goes for the knockout every time.
And here he is with the official decision, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 35 seconds in round number 2. Herb Dean stops the contest due to strikes. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still the Elite XC middleweight champion of the world, Ruthless Robbie Lawler.
All right, Stockton, California, give it up for another great performance by these true warriors. Robbie Lawler, Scott Smith, 2. We hail this as unfinished business. Champ, we'll start with you. You took your time in the first round. What did you see in that second round to let you know that the knee game would be successful for you on this night?
I just got close and I felt like I was pummeling with him. I could feel him breathing, and he actually started hitting me with elbows, so I needed to stay real close and try not to get hit with any more elbows because I was going to get cut up again. But he's a tough fighter. In the first round, he was pretty much dictating the pace. I was taking my time, but man, he was coming after me.
Those elbows, as you mentioned, caused you some problems in the first fight, caused you some problems in this fight. You were cut on top of the head, but it was almost as if you were like Marvin Hagler. When you saw your own blood, you started to fight even harder.
Hey, the thing is I got cut, and I knew that I had to step it up and not give the ref any time to stop it, because if there was a lull in the action, you know, he would have said, hey, let me take a look at this. So I just kept the pace up and kept pushing forward.
Okay, Scott Smith, the challenger. Scott, tough fight the first time. What happened out there this time? Was it just one of those days in which he had your number?
Hey, first of all, you guys, real quick, give it up for Robbie Lawler. How can you not love this guy, man? Great champion. That second round, man, I made a mistake. I knew I cut him with the elbow. Like an idiot, I sat around and was, like he said, waiting for the ref to maybe look at it. And he went to work on me. He went to work on my midsection with those knees. You live and you learn.
But at the same time, you had an opportunity to fight for the Elite XC championship once again. You fought valiantly. If there was something that you could do differently in this fight, what would it have been?
Not sit back and wait.